It's time for the Half Hour to Health with Dr. Bob and Debbie DeMaria. Call a friend or family member now and let them benefit from today's exciting and informative program. If you want to lead a healthier life, the time is now.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob and Debbie DeMaria with another Half Off Health for you. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This is the only person in my family that's ever listened to me. And guess what happened to everybody else? They died. He said, Dr. Bob, you're being morbid. No, I'm being truthful. Because see, what we talk about on these programs, and we have been so blessed to be on this particular TV station, and you should send them an email saying, thank you for having Dr. Bob and Dr. Anthony and Debbie and Dr. Kaysen on the program. We're here to set you free from yourself. And you say, what does that mean, Dr. Bob? Some of you are so sick. You got little tubes in your nose right now, and you have oxygen, and you're sipping a soda, and you're eating cookies, and you're overweight. You can barely get up off the couch, and you're peeing your pants. You got to make sure you have enough defenses. So that's not being very nice. It's not meant to be nice. This is a wake-up call. So we're going to have some wonderful testimony. I know that my wife is waiting with bated breath and saying, Dr. Bob, I wish you'd just be quiet so I could introduce this special person. So here you go. It's all yours.
You know what's really funny, Dr. Bob, is I wanted to say, you're meddling today, Dr. Bob.
It's good. It's good to meddle.
It is good to meddle because really our hearts are to help you. We want to see you live to the fullest. And I'll tell you what, when I think about someone that has lived their life to the fullest, really one person first comes to my mind, and that happens to be our guest tonight. And I want to introduce to you, not only personally we call him Steve, but I personally call him Dad. So lovingly, I want to introduce to you our viewing audience, Steve. Steve, hello.
How you doing?
Or Dad, should I say.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right.
You've been with us a couple times, but you know, you've reached a mark in your years this past year, and you are still going strong. And when people see you, they say, I can't believe he is this young. So do you want to tell everybody how young you are?
Well, I don't know about the young part, but I'm 85 years old, going on 86, and doing great. I feel good. I'm really surprised that things have worked out for me because of chiropractic. And I've noticed that when I was 50 years old, I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to do, and doctor took me under his wing and kind of, you know, said, listen, buddy, if you keep on what you're doing, you ain't going to be here too long. And I realized at that particular time, because I remember going home and looking in the mirror, and I says, you know what, I think Dr. Bob is telling me the truth. And I start doing whatever Dr. Bob told me to do. I just take the vitamins that they tell me. They tell me what to eat, to watch my food, watch my sugar intake, and today I just can't believe it that I'm here, because I feel better today than I did when I was 50 years old. And it seems a wonder, maybe it's God's blessing or both of yous that have helped me through this ordeal. Well, I can't say it was an ordeal, because whatever Bob told me to do, I did. Mm-hmm. And
well, you know what, it was a transition, right?
Right. It was a transition from bad to good. And not only a transition from bad to good, but a transition that you stay with this, whatever you're doing, as chiropractic care. Because sometimes I notice going in to get my adjustments and stuff like that, where the person will come in and he will probably come maybe for 2 or 3 times, and he starts feeling better. And all of a sudden you don't see him for a while. And I think that has a effect on these people, because I know friends of mine that have done that. And they say, well, I went to Dr. Bob, but everything's okay right now. But it isn't that way. You just got to stay with the practice. And the more you stay, and Dr. Bob has learned so many new things. And well, I've been probably 30 years.
35.
And so everything that has changed since then, Dr. Bob would tell me what to do and everything, and that's what I did. And I feel really blessed, and especially with the people that work for you, Dr. Kaysen, Dr. Anthony. Sorry about that, Anthony. And they've done a lot, you know, and especially with their wonderful feeling about people. You know, the whole atmosphere at the place is something that I really, really enjoy, because as soon as I open that door, everybody's either saying hello or and greeting you and everything like that. And that makes me feel great. But the part of this whole thing is that you got to keep up with what you do. And by doing that, you just don't fall into a pit. Because what happens when you let it go, you think you're doing yourself okay, but it doesn't come that way. You've got to do what you're supposed to do. And Dr. Bob will tell you right away, and that's one thing I like about him, and he just comes right out and tells you, you know, this is what you have to do or you should be doing. And I noticed that, you know, it's hard to talk to people or tell people that, you know, there's something wrong, because they might get angry at you or something like that. But when I talk to the people, my buddies, and even some of the ladies that I know and everything, I said, all you have to do, you have one problem. Just go see Dr. Bob. He'll take care of it. And if you don't believe that, here's an example. I am so God blessed, because without the care that I got from Dr. Bob and everybody in the office, I don't think I'd have been here.
Well, you know what? I want to talk about that, because one of the items that you have done, Dad, is that you are consistent. It's almost like we know what time it is by the time you walk in the door every week to get that adjustment. And just you said, consistency is what he's trying to say, is consistency makes the difference in people's lives. And I think that people will look at my dad and they'll say, you know, what are you doing, Steve? And every time we have talked about a change, and recently, it's not, just like you said, it is not everything and then you followed that pattern throughout the rest of your life. We recently told you about coconut oil, probably within the last year, and you incorporated that into your lifestyle. And that's the biggest thing. You made the change to be a lifestyle change. It's not a diet that you're on. It's not, you're not like doing a prescription. You are doing a lifestyle change, and chiropractic has been a part of that. Don't you agree?
Oh, very definitely, very definitely. Without that, why, I don't, like I said, I feel so good, and if there's a problem or anything, I don't hesitate to go in, even if I had an adjustment, say on Monday, and I went out and played golf, and I might have tweaked this shoulder or something, so I go right back in and everything, and Dr. Bob's right there, take care of me, and I feel it just works. But the understanding is that a lot of people, I go back to, they give up. They think they're doing good and everything like that, but if you just keep up chiropractic care and stay with it, I will guarantee you'll feel so much better. And it's up to that person. If that person, you could go two ways. You can go the good way or you can go the bad way. And it's your choice. And if something happens, you got to look in the mirror and says, oh, buddy, did I make the wrong choice? And that's what you have to do.
So you really don't have aches and pains and all that kind of stuff through the day, or how would you say? What would you measure yourself right now?
The irony of this whole thing, that when I started chiropractic care and everything like that, and Dr. Bob says I thought it was 30, but he said 35. With the chiropractic care that I've ever had, and I'm going to tell you the honest truth, I have not had one headache in all those years. It's unbelievable, but that's the honest truth.
Wow, isn't that
and
amazing?
I think it's because of the adjustment and of the things that they take x-rays and everything once a year or a year and a half, and they tell you what to do, and they tell you exactly. There's no pulling, no punches there. They tell you the right way, and it's up to you. And you've got to be the person that goes that way. And if you do it, I know the God will bless you like He's blessing me. And I just every day I pray for Debbie and Bob and Anthony and Kason, and I'm just so blessed with these people. I could not tell you how nice they are to me, and they watch over me, and I listen to them, and I thank God that I did, because that's why I'm here today.
Oh, that's really sweet, Dad. That's really sweet. And I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you listen to us. And you know, it's not just the listening, but my dad at 85 has educated himself. And I know we have 7 books, and my dad has read many of those books, and he has shared those books with other people. Not for the fact of, you need to read this, but I want you to read this so you could help the people that you affect. For example, there's a chef that he actually knows that affects a lot of people in a retirement home, and the chef has changed the way he cooks. And that is a testimony to my dad. And I just can't say enough about what it's like to have you with us and have you in the office following the care and being as healthy as you are.
And getting to that chef, when Bob gave me that book, and I knew in my heart that I should say something to that chef. I thought maybe if I was going to say something to him, he might have got angry at me. But the gentleman was so nice, and I gave him that book, and he read it, the whole book completely. And he says, I didn't realize, as a cook, I didn't realize that this has an effect on you, that has an effect on you and everything. And I noticed the change that he has in giving the meals the right kind of food to have and everything. And he even says, you know, I'm even healthier. So I'm glad of that.
Oh, I'm really glad too. Well, Dad, it was our pleasure to have you with us here tonight. Is there anything else you want to say?
Oh, well, the only thing I'm going to say is God bless all you people.
Oh, amen. We appreciate that too. So if you just hold on a little bit, I know Dr. Bob's going to come back, and I will be with him, and I'm sure that we're going to give you some more tidbits. So please, go stop. Get family and friends and say, come on and watch this next portion of the Half Hour to Health.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Anthony, and Kason DeMaria, and I'd like to invite you to join us at our office. We are here to make a difference in your life. We will listen to you. We will listen to every complaint you have and help you make wise choices for your long-term health problems.
I just want to invite everyone to bring their kids into our office, because we have so much fun, and we know how we can make a difference in impacting not only the kids but also your family just helping them reach that optimal level of function.
And one of the things that we're blessed to use is some advanced technology with how we go about your care. So we're able to do special thermal imaging of your spine and do motion x-rays. And we're also just able to use some biocommunication devices in order to figure out the best plan of care for your specific case.
So what's going on in our particular practice is that we have high-end technology. We've been skilled, trained, and experienced. We will listen to you. We know that you want wellness. We look at the whole package. We look at the whole person, regardless of whatever you've had done to this point, whether it be surgery, you're on medications. Give us an opportunity to serve you. We have taken care of this area for over 35 years, and we have the expertise to make a difference for you and your family. We have educational material that's available to you. We have material that's available in the form of books and technology. So we'd encourage you, regardless of what you have going on, that you give our office a call today. Let us make a difference for you and your family. And we're also available to speak at your business, your organization, or your church. We love treating families. We love chronic problems. Give us a call today. You'll be glad you did. Hello, this is Dr. Bob and Debbie DeMaria. Welcome you once again to our half-off health program. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are over 50 years old, you better make that call, because I'll guarantee you this: your life will continue on just like your friends and family. I like to call it it's almost like the herd effect. You know, it's very easily that Steve could have continued on with his lifestyle, and I guarantee you he would have been dead, because everybody else in his family passed away from poor health choices. But what's happening today is that we see many patients that are in their 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s that have optimal health just like he has. Actually, if you were to sit down and talk to him one-on-one, you know, tell him the biggest sadness that he has in his life? He doesn't have any friends his age. Do you know why? They all died. Everybody in his life, he just had someone just recently passed away where he met his lovely wife Eleanor years ago. And I just know that one of the people that he was talking about just passed away. The guy used to be a patient in our office. Probably the biggest blessing that happened to Steve is that I wasn't a medical doctor, because he would have lost all of his body parts before he came into our office. And I know that sounds a little sarcastic, but the bottom line is this: there's natural principles that impact a person's health. Recently we had a guest on, and this is, I'm going to bring it down to very serious. She went to her health care provider, who ended up sending her to a surgeon. She watched us on this program, and a friend of hers motivated her to come into our office. The morning, it was a Wednesday morning, she went to the surgeon, and the surgeon was going to change his schedule to fit her in because she needed surgery immediately. Well, she was very wise. She came into our office that afternoon, and through myself, Dr. Anthony, and Dr. Kaysen, and the type of procedures that we do that are very technologically advanced, we determined exactly where her area of misalignment or subluxation was. We gave her the appropriate chiropractic adjustment, and guess what? It's been 6 weeks, because I conversed with her just yesterday. Her problem, her symptoms are gone. Now, Steve made a very important point. She knows, see, gravity never takes a vacation. So I don't care how old you are right now, because I talked to some patients, people yesterday. I am out in the community. So if you ever want us to come and do a talk, whether it be a business or church or any type of screening, we'd be happy to come. But one of the things that I've learned, and I learned this from the training that Dr. Anthony and Dr. Kaysen have had, is that we take flexion and extension x-rays in our office. Most of you that have had spinal surgeries because you've had a lock in the lower part of your spine. And unless you fix that lock or that fixated vertebra, the vertebra above is going to wear out. And you're going to go to your healthcare provider, just like they did with this patient. They're going to press you into getting spinal surgery. They get a very sharp knife and they slice your throat right here and they pull it apart. And then they go and they get a drill and they drill a hole into your spine. And they get a little molly and they tap it in. And then they get a screwdriver. Now, I don't know if this is exactly what they do, but it looks like that's what they do. And they raise that disc up and then they sew you back up. And then 2 years later, you come into our office because the vertebra above has broken down. So I'm here today because my heart goes out for all of you that have had spinal surgery or are thinking about spinal surgery, or if you're taking any kind of pain medication. Do you know that aspirin causes liver disease? That's one of its bad effects. You know that acetaminophen can cause kidney disease? Pain medication covers up symptoms. Now, I have to really congratulate Steve, exactly what Debbie said. He made changes. Him and I used to drink alcohol. We used to drink a lot of alcohol. And by the grace of God, I was released from alcohol in 1991. And I'm not sure if he was released before I was or shortly after I was, but he stopped drinking alcohol. That's huge. And then I know that one of his favorite things to do was to stir fry. Who would ever think someone with a Polish heritage, not even from Asian descent, would stir fry? He made huge lifestyle changes, and he did listen to everything that we said. Now, it's kind of interesting because along the way, and this is something for all of you that are listening to me right now, in all just understanding how the medical community thinks, his blood pressure tended to be on the high side of normal for whatever reason. We don't even need to go there. So the medical community will instruct a person to go on a diuretic, but they tell them it's a water pill. I'll give you an example. It's hydrochlorothiazide. This is a diuretic. Diuretics trick the body to eliminating fluid. Well, part of the elimination is they get rid of calcium, magnesium, and potassium. I'll say that again. Now, I do not have a license, and I am not telling any one of you to go off your medication right now. That is not the purpose of this. I'm trying to make you think different, not to be a part of the herd mentality. Well, it can affect the tendons in your hands. Tendonitis, Dupuytren's contracture, which we treat in our practice with calcium, magnesium, and potassium. You say, what did you say, Dr. Bob? See, the side effect of drugs is bad effects. They eliminate electrolytes if that's the cause of your high blood pressure. Well, that can impact people in a very negative way. So we use a product that has calcium, magnesium, and potassium in it. So I'm just having you start to evaluate your medications because, see, I know you're concerned about the bottom line. How much money are you spending? Well, I know that recently one of the national healthcare providers that's on TV talked about the benefits of cholesterol. Hello, cholesterol is not bad. The cholesterol is a body marker, what's going on inside of you. If you start to noticing a lot of marks on your body signal to me your body has congested or compromised liver function. Two things that Steve is doing right now that's really important. He's aware of how much water he's consuming, and he's taking coconut oil. My wife loves coconut oil as much as she loves me.
I do love coconut oil, Dr. Bob. It has one of the best tastes, and I'll tell you what, if you want to do something that's like a candy bar because you really want
She's
candy.
Getting excited, you see that?
What I would do is you take a rice cake, and I get an organic brown rice cake, and I put some organic almond butter on it, and then I put some organic coconut oil, and I put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And it gets nice and hard, and it tastes like a candy bar. So you know what? It takes away any, like, a lot of people say, oh, I always crave sweets. Well, eat something different. There's a lot of things in the natural realm that can replace the sweets or the sugar that you're eating. And I know that my dad loves coconut oil. And what coconut oil? It helps with memory.
It does.
And it really helps people in the senior